Good morning. So, I just had a lot on my mind, and you know how sometimes you just feel like everything that you're seeing is kind of for you. So, this Sunday, the sermon, I just feel like it was really, really for me. Like I was meant to hear that sermon. It was for me, a confirmation for me to continue doing what I am doing, and that there is a purpose in everything. So, one of the things that stuck out to me was he said that God will take you to the edge, and sometimes he needs to change your point of view so that you can see who he is and that you can also see where he's going to take you. So that's something that really, really stuck with me. And I think that me asking for patience a long time ago, or to learn how to be more patient a long time ago, is just what God has been doing in my life, like teaching me patience, forcing me to be patient, to rely on him, and to make sure that I ask him to lead me and guide me in everything that I do. So of course it's easier said than done, but I understand that most of the lessons that I've been learning is for that. So yeah, and then I've just been seeing quotes and stuff and scriptures that have just been affirming that I need to make sure that I stay focused and that I understand that what I'm going through is for a lesson, and it's not just because like I need to be able to learn something in every struggle, every failure. I need to be able to come out of it stronger, better, and with more wisdom. So that's what I'm working on. Anytime I have negative thoughts, because I'm one of those people that will just continue to harbor on something that I'm thinking about, or create scenarios that probably will never exist. And what I'm trying to do is to get those out of my mind, to just switch my focus to God or something that I need to be doing for myself to better myself, because that negativity is just the devil trying to creep in to create those negative thoughts, to give me anxiety, to create discourse in my life. And I need to make sure that I'm not letting that seep in constantly. And again, I'm going to keep saying it's easier said than done, because it really is. But like with everything, it's just practice, and you have to force yourself to do it. All of these things that we create for the most part are in our minds, so we have to just make sure that we're creating a positive and peaceful space for ourselves, and not something that is full of dysfunction and negativity, because most of it is not really true. It's just lies that we've told ourselves, or things that we've created ourselves. And then something that I learned in therapy again is to make sure that you don't have expectations, because that's when you get disappointed, and that's when you become upset because of the expectations that you place on certain situations, instead of just realizing it for what it actually is. So if I want something to succeed, then that's fine, but I don't need to expect it to go this way, or to expect someone to do something this way, because I have no control over that, and I just have to really deal with it as it is. So if it does go that way, fine. If it doesn't go that way, fine. And then you move on from there. So I'm working on that as well. And I've been reading this set of books. The first one I read was called The Four Agreements, and it was a wonderful book. And then I read The Mastery of Love, and now the last one, I think it's The Mastery of Wisdom, or The Mastery of Knowledge, something like that. And I'm going to make a separate video about that, because these are wonderful books, a lot of great nuggets in there. And it's just making sure that we understand how we can be accountable for our own thoughts and our own lives, and how we can create peace within ourselves and our surroundings. And that's something that I'm trying to work on, and just making sure that I stay focused on the things that I need to stay focused on, and just remain patient and do everything in God's time and not my own. So I know that something big is coming. I'm continuing to elevate, and I knew 2021 was going to be a year of transformation and elevation for me, but I just did not know in this capacity, and I feel like something great is really, really coming. And I'm excited to know where God's going to take me, and hopefully I can just continue to practice these things that I want to implement permanently in my life. And the first one, like I said, is patience, patience, patience. So that just goes to every aspect of my life as a parent, as a mom. I want to make sure that I'm patient with my daughter, and the more that I realize it, it's easier to do because she's really two. But that's not a lot of time at all. And before I had a child, people would say things to other people with kids like, oh, that baby's too big to be held, or put her down, or stop crying, be a big girl. And I just think those are the dumbest things ever. Not that I have a child, like it really makes no sense. Like your child is 1 and 2. It's okay for you to pick them up. It's okay for you to hug them. Big people cry too. Big people have tantrums as well. There are a lot of adults who cannot control their emotions. So you to think that a 2-year-old is able to is just really, really unintelligent. And to say stuff like that just shows that we don't understand how young they really are and how they're still maneuvering through life. So I try to be very patient with Gia. And of course, sometimes I fail at that and I say sorry to her because I want her to understand that I'm human and I make mistakes as well. And a 2-year-old can be a little frustrating, and some of the stuff that she does is annoying. So in that, I have to give myself grace as well, because that's another human being in my space all the time. So no matter how much you love somebody, sometimes you just like, okay. But trying to be patient with her and breaking some of those traditions, and I'm going to say that with air quotes, traditions that have been in our community a lot that are not necessarily healthy or best practices. So I'm trying to do better in that area. And then just in every area, patience is going to help, and just making sure that I'm going to God first with all of my wants and wishes and seeing what his path is for me and whether I should or not. That's just going to transform me in every way, and I'm very, very happy about that. And I just want to make sure that I'm being the best person that I can be for myself first, and then for everybody else second. So trying to continue to evolve as much as possible as I grow in life, and hopefully it's working. Hopefully it's being seen on the outside as well as on the inside. So yeah, if you're dealing with that type of stuff, just keep going and remember to pray. Have a community. Like sometimes we try to keep things in because we don't want other people to know what's going on, or we might even feel embarrassed about our situations. But once I found a couple people that I could really confide in and tell what was going on, I just felt so much relief, because I was keeping stuff in, trying to be strong and trying not to let people know my business, and I was really going through it myself. And then when I told other people, it's like, oh wow, this is not an isolated event. Like other people are actually going through this as well, and some of it is very common. So that helps you to get your spiritual journey in play if it's not already, or just to make sure that you're having a better relationship with God, and then have a community, even if it's just 1 or 2 people. That's very, very helpful. And then to just give yourself grace. Like I said, we're human, so you want to make sure that you're not holding yourself to some impossible standard. And it's not that nobody is perfect, because we're all perfect, and that's what I got from one of those books as well. But when we try to say that nobody's perfect, then we try to attain this perfection that is not reality. But we're all different, we're all perfect in our own way, so we have to remember that as well. And I try to remain as real and as human as possible. So even in the videos that I put up of me and Gia, I don't always put up videos that are just us having fun, laughing, because that's not reality. So I don't want it to be where I'm making this image of a perfect mom or a perfect setting, because that's not reality. I don't always talk to her in that cheerful elementary school teacher voice, like, yeah, and we're like, I don't always do that because like, who does that? So in my videos, sometimes you see me talking to her in my regular voice because that's how we talk. Sometimes I'm animated, sometimes I'm not. I don't need to do that 24/7. Sometimes I get frustrated, sometimes she gets frustrated. It's reality. So I try to paint the full picture and not just only the good parts, because that's when people start to feel isolated because they don't see the struggles in other people. And social media can really make you feel like you're the only one that's going through something, but people can put out there what they want to. So if they're only showing you something, that's because they only want to show you that part and you don't know what else is going on. So I'm a very private person. I am. And it's the same for me. What I want to show you, I do show you, and what I don't want to show you, I don't. But I also want to make sure that I'm being truthful and honest, and that you understand that I'm still human and I'm not living some perfect life, because that's not reality. So I go through things as well. I struggle, I fail, I succeed, I do well, and that's just the ebb and flow of life, like the ups and downs that we go through. But I try and focus on the ups more than the downs, and I think that's working for me. So if you're going through something right now, I pray that it gets better. Let me know if you need a prayer request or anything. If you need a friend, I am here for you. But we are all going through something, whether it was that we got through it, that we're going through it, or we're going to get to it. So we just all are trying to make it and be our best person. And hopefully we all find peace. And yeah, that's about it.